Welcome back, it's me, Lou. Today will be a comparison video as we compare the first release of the G.I. Joe Classified Series Crimson Guard with the later retro-carded Crimson Guard that was available, I think, exclusively at Walmart stores. Alright, so for the sake of this video, I will not be unboxing the retro-carded one. This is a figure that I kind of want to have a collection of these mint on card. Even though the card back's kind of beat up a little, I still want to keep this as is. So if anything, we are going to unbox this one, which we've done before. And if anything, this video, like I said, it's going to be more of a comparison video. This is a much older figure, so chances are you can find hundreds of reviews on this, and even one on my own channel. I just want to kind of discuss the cosmetic differences and, let you decide which version is best for you if you haven't picked up either of these great action figures. All right, so first off, let's take a look at the packaging. Here is the older style G.I. Joe Classified Series box. Most of the boxes nowadays, it's kind of like the full box with no window, so you don't really know what you're getting. I think in 2024 and recently, with some of the more recent waves, Hasbro's gone back to this older style where you do see the actual figure displayed in the container. But for the first, 2 years, 2.5 years, the Classified Series came in a box like this. I thought the package design was brilliant. They really display the figure full on with all the different accessories that are included. On top of that, you got some nice character artwork on the right side. For me, it was always kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes the illustrations were just amazing. Other times they could be a little bit off, maybe borderlining on being too cartoony. On the side, on the spine of the box, again, the artwork kind of overflows over here. And then on the back, we got the nice poster image. And this figure, when I got it on Amazon, because at the time I remember this was kind of hard to find out in the wild. So I got this on Amazon, and the prices were pretty high. So what I always do on Amazon, I always check the Amazon warehouse. Sometimes for returned items, or maybe it's a new item and the box is like beat up. And I got this one discounted because it was on Amazon warehouse. And I think the issue with the box here is that it was kind of torn up down here. So I got this slightly discounted, but the figure was mint, is perfectly fine. The retro carded figures are really, really cool, especially if you grew up during the 80s and 90s. It's a real nice throwback to the original Real American Hero design. You have the character on the left with a giant explosion, as we all remember. The one thing that's kind of different is that the windows are a little bit more elongated. Back in the 80s, the windows were roughly the bubbles were roughly the height of the figure, maybe stopping about there. But nonetheless, it's really cool. The package design is a lot more eye-catching, a lot more vibrant. And for me anyhow, in terms of like nostalgia, when I think of action figures, I always think of the bubble on top of the single card. On the back, it's kind of a tease. It's kind of a throwback to the old file cards. But back in the day, you'd get like the full-on bio, detailing everything about the character. Over here, unfortunately, you're just getting a very, very small tidbit, but it just happens to be broken down into different languages. And then we have the other figures that are available on the retro cards. All right, so let's talk about the differences between the figures. And we'll unbox this one at least. All right, so the first thing you'll notice is that there's a difference in the actual color scheme of the characters. I'm not sure how well my camera captures it, but the red on the Crimson Guard on the right, on the retro one, the red is a lot more vibrant, a little bit brighter. The red on this one, it's maybe a shade or two darker. Another big difference you'll see is in the faceplate. This guy has a silver faceplate with a black visor, whereas this one has a black faceplate with a silver visor right there. Other differences is on their badges. This one, the pips, the 3 pips are just left silver. Where on here, the 3 pips are actually colored in black. You'll also notice that the little tassel over the arm, this one's all silver, whereas this one is actually gray. The belts appear to be the same, with the V on both buckles painted silver. One of the big differences comes on the holster. The holster on the retro carded one is painted red, whereas on the first release, it's all black. In terms of accessories, it looks like you're getting identical accessories. Both weapons look about the same, so both characters are getting the same loadout. The one thing you'll notice that is different, though, is the backpack. This one has the all-black backpack with the silver cobra emblem, whereas this one has the red backpack with the silver cobra emblem. So pretty much they're the exact same figures with a couple of changes in the colors. You know, it's not as drastic as the retro carded like Gung Ho figure, where the retro carded Gung Ho figure really was a throwback to the original figure, whereas the first release G.I. Joe Classified Series Gung Ho was a much more modern re-envisioning of the character with different accessories. But yeah, I think both of these figures are great. And real quick, let's take a look at the articulation if you haven't handled these figures yet. So up close, let's take a look at the figure. It's nicely detailed, clean sculpted. I remember one of my issues with the figure is ab crunch. It's just a little bit loose. So mine kind of does flop around a little. That's been kind of a minor problem for some of the recent G.I. Joe Classified Series figures. It kind of varies, I think, but yeah, on mine, it's really kind of wobbly, which is unfortunate. You know, on some figures, especially the first waves, they were nice, tight, and snug, but this one's just kind of like, you know, it's a new toy, but it already feels like it's been played with for like 5 years. The head moves. Here's the movement in the arms. It's all the articulation they expect from the Classified series of figures. Yeah, so overall it's really nice. You know, it just comes down to personal preference. I haven't checked the secondary market prices on these, but when I did purchase them at the time, I do remember the retro carded one costing slightly more than the first release. At least that's how it was months ago when I bought this. The cool thing though is that if you're into army building, you can either do this either way. You can either amass more of this one here and then get one of these. And since this has a silver faceplate, you could kind of maybe say this is a higher ranking Crimson Guard, like maybe this is the squad leader, or vice versa. You know, if you happen to have more of these than this one, you can always say this one's a squad leader. But they're both great for army building. Again, just remember that you know, there's some variations in the paint. The retro carded figure is slightly brighter than this one. But overall, you know, you're getting the kind of the same experience. You know, their accessories are the same. The only big thing is, you know, the difference in presentation. If you're a completionist, I imagine you probably have both figures and you're probably well on your way to building up both armies. All right, so let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.